Hey guys, it's Mel. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Okay, today I'm about to do some photography for my eBay store. I've got a whole lot of books here that are waiting for me to photograph. While I'm photographing, I'm going to chit chat to you about things that are on my mind. I want to talk to you about all my unlisted inventory and anything else that I think about while I'm going. But these type of videos are great if you want to work alongside me and you can just listen while you're actually working. So maybe grab your own photographs and get ready, or maybe do some listing, whatever you like to do while you listen to something else. This isn't the type of video where you have to watch me. You can listen while you're working, and you can, like, what's the old saying? Kill two birds with one stone, which is actually a terrible saying, but you can get two jobs done at the same time. Listen and learn and work while you're at it. Okay, I have got so many photographs that need doing, guys. I am so behind on my photography this week. I'm behind on my listing this week. I actually feel like I'm just in general, let me just turn the sound of this off. I actually feel like in general I'm just running a little bit behind this week, but that's just because of the sheer amount of work that I've got going on. So it's Thursday today, and last weekend I did a book fair, which was Friday, Saturday and Sunday. The book fairs run for 3 days, and generally I do go into the book fair when it's locally every single day that it's on. If it's a book fair that I'm having to travel for, then I'll only go to the book fair on the first day, the Friday, because that's where you get the best books. By the time you get to Sunday, you're getting all the scraps. But of course, when the book fair is local, well, you'd be silly probably not to go in. So because I had a few days of doing book fair, it just meant that I didn't have the weekend spent in the warehouse. The weeks that I have my daughter, I'm obviously not out here in the warehouse. The weeks, however, that I spend here with Tom, quite often, if we're not traveling or doing road trips, we do spend a little bit of time in the warehouse over the weekend, catching up and getting stuff done. And I quite like it, because if I've had like a busy week prior when I've got my daughter, then having that extra time on that weekend just gives me a little bit of catch up. And because I was gone for the whole weekend and not hanging around here, I just feel like I've been behind all week, probably also because I've bought in some more inventory, and I've already got a lot of inventory in here at the moment that's waiting for me to list. So to bring in more, it's just added to my to-do pile. I will say on the Friday though, when I did the book fair, I pretty much I bought the books back here Friday afternoon, and then I straight away photographed for a couple of hours, and I did get probably half of the books that I bought at the book fair on the Friday. I've already had them, they're already photographed. They're in my photo pile. None of them are listed yet or anything, but they are in the photo pile. Now, the way I work with my photo pile is I just take heaps and heaps of photos in like batch photo time. Then they go into folders on my desktop. I use Apple, so I use an iMac computer and I use iPhone. So sometimes I do a little bit of listing here at the warehouse, but I do prefer to list at home. I don't know why. I quite like just sitting around in my pajamas at home, listing it in the evening. So what I do is I just airdrop all the photos from my phone to my desktop. I've got a folder that says photos waiting to list, and then I just work off that folder. So I'm not trying to cherry pick or anything. I generally just work my way down in order, whatever's on the computer at the time. But one thing I'm noticing at the moment, and it's not ideal, but hold on, there's a little bit of pen in this one. One thing I'm noticing is, because I've been listing a lot of the books from the cages, and when I say cages, if you're new here and you're just finding me for the first time, I bought 22 cages, which is like a size of a pallet and like this high, 22 cages full of books. And each cage has probably got at least 1,000 books in it. So, you know, there's over 20,000 books to go through. And I've been sorting those cages And the thing that I'm noticing is the books are selling from the cages, like they're really selling, but most of them are, so far have been low-end books. Some of them have been higher priced and really good, but some of them have been lower priced, and a lot of them actually. I've had to kind of lower the metrics. Normally I wouldn't like to put books into my store that are, preferably I want to put books into my store that are $30 and over, but I will put books in there that are lower, but I try to stick to at least $25 plus. But with the cages, I had to kind of lower my expectations, and the lowest I'm putting into the store is $20, $19.99. So there's a lot of $19.99 books that are going in. They're a little bit under the ideal metrics, but due to the quantity of them and the situation, I have readjusted for the cages. When I'm outsourcing, I'm actively still looking for those books that are meeting the metrics. So what I've noticed is, if I'm photographing a lot of these books from the cages to get them moving, to get them clearing, to get them off the sorting table so that I can keep sorting more and more cages. But it means that a lot of my new listings going into my store have all been around that $20 mark. Like these books that I'm listing here, photographing here now, these are all $20 books. So because I'm putting a lot of $20 books in there, that's what's selling. So I've just noticed that I really need to do some bundles and some of the higher priced books. But it's just been trying to clear it. And I probably should try and mix it a little bit from, like, I just work through my photo pile. Whatever I photographed, I just try and work through. But I probably should be trying to mix it around a little bit more. So there's a whole lot of maybe like $20 books going into the store, but also some higher priced ones. But I've got a heap of bundles that I'm waiting to photograph. And the bundles are just so much more time consuming for me to photograph. And I'm just been trying to, because of the sheer quantity, I guess I've just been working on the individual books to try and get them going, but to try and move them off my shelves. But yeah, I really need to get some of those bundles going into the store, because they're the ones that bring my average sale price up. They're the ones that increase my sales. Like I've noticed the last week, eBay's been a lot more quiet than it was. Well, February in general. February's been more quiet for me on eBay than what January has been. And I don't know if that's just a regular February thing. Kids have gone back to school now. Parents have gone back to work. Everyone's like got credit card debt after Christmas, or, catching up after school holiday breaks, and I do find people start to like buckle up a little bit in February, look at their finances, redo their budgets. They've just gone through Christmas, school holidays. Like, it's an expensive time of year. So in general, I do find February a little bit of a slower month. And maybe that's why sales are down a little bit. But it also wouldn't help that, if I'm only listing low-end items, then, I sell a lot of items that are brand new listings. And if all the brand new listings are like $20 sales, it definitely doesn't make it easy. But I'm trying to encourage multi-buys with a lot of these lower-end books, because I've got so many of them. Not only do I want to increase like multi-sales with multiple books to try and get the average sale price up, but I also want to encourage multi-sales to keep the quantity of them moving out of the store, because there's so many here and there's so many that are still yet to come in. And I've just got to get my sell-through rate up higher. So that's kind of something that I need to focus on at the moment, is like, how can I get the sell-through rate up with different types of coupons. Like I've kind of been running the same coupons all year, and I'm just starting to think now maybe I need to mix it up a little bit. These ones have been working, but just this last week and a half, it's been little bit slower. So I don't know, maybe I need to think of a different coupon or a different way that I can encourage. Maybe I need to go back and run the buy two get two free, or I've done that in the past and had some good success with it. It's just hard with the buy two get two free, because when they order the big bundles, it kind of takes away. Buy two get two free is really good if you can fit them into the same mailers. But if they buy like 4, buy 2 get 2 free, and they're all 4 of them are like big bundles and they all need individual mailers, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. But I don't know, I've got to work on the sell-through rate, and I've got to keep moving these lower end books out. So I've got to work out some kind of enticing deal to get people to buy multiple ones of them so that they keep moving out. Okay, I'm just going to put this trolley over there. So I have been feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I guess, with the amount of unlisted inventory. I don't think I'd mind, like when everything's neat and tidy in here, I don't really feel overwhelmed. But when I've got piles, like here, I've just got piles of these unlisted photos waiting to go. And because I've been doing the stock take, I had a video go out this morning about the stock take, and yesterday I was doing more of the stock take, and I honestly just can't believe how many books I'm finding that aren't listed on the shelves. So I'm not having too many errors with like books that are on the wrong shelves, but I'm definitely having errors with books that say that are on the shelves like they're listed, and they're not listed. Like there's a whole lot of them. So I've been keeping those books separately. I've actually put them onto a pallet in the little office there on the ground, and I'm just going to keep them all separate until I've totally finished the stock take. But it, like having all those books, that's just like another pile of books now that's going to be waiting to photograph and list. And I just can't believe how many are on the shelves that I thought were listed and they're not listed. It's just been really quite eye-opening, but it's kind of adds to the overwhelm pile of, okay, not only is there all these cages of books to do, and the books from the book fair, they'll be done fairly quickly. I mean, I did nearly all of the Friday ones. They were half photographed anyway. So they're not really too much of a stress that comes with the stuff. It's mainly just that the cages, because I emptied those cages for Tom, it just kind of means that I've just got piles on the ground and the sorting benches are full and there's cages there that are waiting for me to go, and he's got to bring more cages in. And then I've got this big stack of books here waiting to photograph, which I'll do after this trolley. I'm just trying to, the more I can keep the trolleys clear, the better, because then I utilize them while I'm working. So, and I did buy another trolley, guys. I've got 3 now. So just having the 3rd trolley, it does make a difference, but I do like to get the books off it as quickly as possible. And then, so once I've photographed this trolley, I have to start working on this pile. But what you can't see there in the angle that you've got there now, behind this pile on the bench there is just bundles and bundles and bundles of books waiting to list. I got more bundles at the book fair as well, so they've got to be done. And then the ground has actually got some stacks on stacks underneath here with more individual books. So it's just really like, I guess this week, because I spent a couple of days doing the stock take, I didn't get as many photographs done as I would have liked. Because at least by doing the photographs, I clear the space. And when I have the messy space, that's what causes me to be, overwhelmed. I'm just going to put those ones up there because they've got little stickers on the front, and like I just want to keep moving really fast. So if I have to stop to take stickers off, then that actually hinders me in my workflow. So I'd rather just put those books aside, and at the end of the session, then I can just casually take the stickers off. But right now, as you can see, I'm in a fairly fast flow, and these kind of like fiction, some of them are non-fiction here, but these fiction-y kind of paperback books, which are only low end, they are really, really easy to photograph. And they're just, because I'm checking for pen inside them just to make sure there's no handwriting or anything in there that needs to be photographed. But these low-end kind of fiction, I don't even bother photographing the copyright page of these, because these are just run-of-the-mill, newish kind of books. They're not rare. They're not like the type of books that anybody's like really caring about, a first edition. So I just don't need to really worry about that kind of stuff. Whereas a lot of the other books here, like there's a whole heap of cooking books here. There's a whole heap of like health kind of books there. There's just gardening books. There's a whole stack of that kind of stuff in these piles. And when I'm photographing those kind of books, I really need to photograph like pictures and stuff inside them, so they take a little bit longer. So you can see, but I like to photograph books that are a kind of like on like. So it's much quicker for me to photograph like a big stack of all these fiction, non-fiction kind of books, because I can just move through them really, really fast. And then once I do the cookbooks, I'm better off to just go all with the cookbooks and the gardening books and the picture books and anything else that I'm going to need to either take pictures of the copyright page or photos that are inside it. But these ones, I'm just trying to move as fast as I can. And you can see that I kind of have the trolley. One's there to the right of me with the books. One's here to the left of me with the books. So I'm trying not to take many steps, just trying to keep with the flow. So I've decided now, after the book fair, that I'm not really going to do any sourcing for a little while. Now, in saying that, I wasn't really sourcing much anyway. Occasionally, Tom and I pop out into the thrift shop, but to be honest, that's more Tom. I don't actively go out by myself sourcing because I've got so many books. But sometimes on the weekend or after Tom and I do the post run, there's a couple of little local charity shops here, and Tom likes to stop in on them on a regular basis and just have a look. And we only cherry pick. We're not buying huge amounts in those shops if we go in. But we talked about it after the book fair, and we were like, look, we don't really need to be stopping into these little shops for a little while. We both need to be focusing on just being in here, photographs, listings. And the only exception for me really going to buy at the moment would be if I saw like an epic Facebook Marketplace haul, like when I got those Westerns the other week. That was a really good haul. So if I saw something that I thought, nah, that's really fantastic, then I would still get that. Or if there's another book fair coming up, but I don't think there's another book fair until the end of March. I might be wrong, but I don't think there's another one till the end of March. So we might possibly go to that one and cherry pick that. But yeah, at the moment, because I'm still trying to decide, I might go to Vegas for the reseller Boss Mix conference, and I'm still not 100% sure. I'm really going to look at the numbers and stuff and look at the flights and the accommodation costs, and I'm going to run some numbers this weekend and see if it's possible. But if it is possible, like, I don't want to be spending any other money anywhere else. I just want to be working as fast as I can and building up a draft bank, because if I go, I want to have some photos scheduled out to be listed. I'd want to have some videos scheduled out while I was gone. So if I do decide to make the trip to Vegas, I've got a little bit of added pressure of work before I go. So Yeah, maybe Vegas is on the cards, but I don't know, guys, as well, because I do want to save up to go to UK, and I don't know when I can make UK happen. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I've got some stuff going on in my personal life mid-year, so I just need to. I just don't know. It's a good time for me to go away in March for this conference if I decide to go. I've just got to see if it's viable, or if I don't go and just keep working here and trying to stack some cash, because I do want to buy a house. And to buy a house, I really probably shouldn't be spending. But, you know, it would be good to go to America again. I don't know. Okay, look at that. I've done the whole stack. Oh, this one doesn't look. What's going on here? I think it's just bent. I think it's all right. It's just bent. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, downgrade it to acceptable, this particular book, but it's not really acceptable. It's still really quite good. Okay, let me get these over to the bench. Let's swap trolleys. I'm just going to finish these ones. Okay, now I also need to swap shelf because my shelf is full. Right. I tell you what, I love having multiple trolleys. I just love having space in this warehouse to wheel trolleys. So I underestimated that in the old warehouse. I mean, I guess I didn't have room in the old warehouse to move trolleys around, so I didn't really know what I was missing. But now that I've got room in this warehouse to put trolleys, it's, oh my goodness. I just love having trolleys to move around. I'm still trying to even find the habit, though, of like remembering to use trolleys for things, because I've never had them before. I've always had to manually lift or do things. So I do have to kind of sometimes remember, like, oh, I've got trolleys for that. But I think by having a couple of extra trolleys around, you can just position them in different places of the warehouse. And then wherever you are, if you look around, there's like a trolley. And I think that makes a really, really big difference. I'd probably ultimately love to have about 5 of these trolleys, but they are quite expensive. They sit around about, I think they're about $330 or something delivered. And, you know, that's not the cheapest, is it? So I would, I'd ultimately like to get another couple, but, you know, one step at a time. Low cost, no cost, as Tech and Sports would say. So make do with what you've got and only spend money when you have to. And, you know, there's possibly some cheaper options around for trolleys. Facebook Marketplace. I'm always looking out for trolleys like on Facebook Marketplace, but I do love these trolleys because they fold up. They're really light. They maneuver around, like they're so good the way they maneuver around. And they're just, you can put baskets on them, or they just fit perfectly down the aisle here. They're not heavy. So there's just everything about them I love. So anyway, we'll just work on it. Oh, this one's a bit peely. Some of these non-fiction ones have, you know, like pages in them where they got some photographs or whatever. So generally I'll try and take at least one photo, but I don't spend a huge amount of time on that one. I tell you what I absolutely love, but since I've started the stock taking, is the shelves, I was picking today, and the shelves are so neat and tidy around in the aisles that I've been doing the inventory on. Because I've been moving all the books to like a totally different shelf, I think that makes a huge difference because you can really stack it properly again, and I can make sure I'm not overstacking the shelves as well. Before in the old warehouse, I did have the shelves overstacked just because I didn't have enough room. Whereas in this warehouse, I've got more room. I've obviously got a lot of books coming through to fill up these shelves, which is why I got to concentrate on the sell-through rate, guys. But I am trying to keep these shelves not as full as what they were in the old warehouse. So when I'm doing the inventory here, oh my goodness, the shelves just feel so nice because they're another sticker. Okay, it's a strange cover on this book. I thought I had it upside down, but anyway. Yeah. So I've got two parts of this warehouse going. One part looking super organized, shelves feel really lovely. Feels really nice when I go down the back area of the warehouse. It's just like, oh, this is good. Everything's neat. There's nothing on the floor. The shelves look all perfect. And then you start going down the other shelves and they're a mess. And then you get down to the front there where the sorting bench is and it's a mess. And then there's cages there. And then there's books everywhere coming out of the cages. So I'm living in this half world. Half world, I feel super organized. Half world, I feel totally overwhelmed with how much I got to do. It's not even that. I mean, it's not a huge hurry or anything. It's the only person who's putting some overwhelm on myself is myself. And it's partly because, cute bookmark, it's partly just because I feel conscious that the last week, not only did I get no photography done to help clear this stuff, but I didn't actually get anything listed. I don't think I've listed this entire week. In fact, I haven't listed all week. And I'm really, really conscious of that because I truly do believe that you need to be listing every single day. And I can sit here and say, oh, sales are slow for February. Well, yeah, they're slow for February, but also I haven't been listing. So partly you can't complain about slow sales if you barely put any listings into your store. I think I had scheduled out last weekend while I was at the book fair, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had 20 listings go live into my store each day. And that's it. So since Friday, I've only had 60 listings into the whole store, and I've sold a lot more than 60 items in the last week. So you've got to be replenishing. You've got to be at least replenishing what you're selling, but you've got to be like, if you want to keep growing, you've got to be adding more than what you're actually selling as well. So there's, you know, I can say that it's low sales in February, but also the 60 listings that went into my store over the weekend were probably all $20 items. They were nothing fancy. And then no bundles, nothing. And then I haven't got anything else in since. So this weekend though, I really, really plan to work a couple, probably Saturday night. I'm going to sit up and late night and do some listings. And I'm actually looking forward to it because I find listing quite therapeutic. I really do. I find it quite therapeutic, and I can quite easily sit there for like 4 hours at a time and list with no dramas. So I don't know what I'm going to do this week, but because I need to get a whole lot into the store because I'm so behind on the listing, but I also would like to schedule some out so that there's a minimum going into the store every single day. But I will just probably list a couple hundred straight up into the store just to try and replenish the numbers a little bit because I'm going to be behind. But anyway, as far as I can work out, thinking of my diary, next week is going to be less chaotic. I can't really think of anything that I've got on or anything specific that I have to do or anything that's going to take me away from time here in the warehouse. So I should be able to get some productive days done next week here in the warehouse and just keep going with the stock take. I mean, the stock, now that I've seen how much stock is unlisted on the shelves, it's just, yeah, I need to, that's such a priority for me. And yeah, it's not even the, there really hasn't been that many errors yet with books that are on the wrong shelves. And I know that because I've been picking a lot of orders for the whole month of January and February. There's only been a few that I haven't been able to find. Like, it's not like there's heaps, or it's not like every single day I've got inventory issues where I can't find an item. There's just been the odd one. But I just had no clue about how many items were on the shelves that aren't actually listed. And to me, that's really scary. That's it's really scary how many items there are that, you know, that's just dead money when it's sitting there like that, because you don't even know, like, it's unlisted. You don't even know. You just presume it's on the shelf. It's really made me think I got to be staying on top of this stock taking. I got to do regular weekly or daily, like one shelf. Once I've done it all, then it's like, okay, let's keep going with this. Like, every single day, make it a habit to do one shelf or two shelves or something. They won't take very long if you've got it all fresh and up to date, and it should be really, really correct. Shouldn't take long then to go back through and just do one or two shelves every single day and just start at the beginning and just work your way around, and then just go back to the beginning and just keep working your way around. That's the plan. So before I start on these ones, I've just got this pile of like big heavy books. So I'm going to put all of these books down low on one of the bottom shelves. So that way they're big and they're heavy, and sometimes, like, I don't like them when they're up the top, because if they're packed a few high and when I pull them down, then I have been known to have the odd book fall on my head. And they are big, and down on the very bottom shelves, I don't want lots of little small books. Like, there's no way I want all those paperbacks down onto the small shelf. It would just be too many to sort through. So if I can have like some piles of the bigger books, or piles of like bigger bundles, not little bundles, but big bundles. Like, if I was bundling 6 of these together, you know, that'd be the perfect type of bundle to put onto the bottom shelf. But yeah, so anyway, I just want these out of the way because they've been over here, they're in my way, they're big, they're bulky, they're heavy, and the quicker they're on a shelf, the better. So we've got E15. I've just started a new shelf for that. It's one of my blank ones around there where I've started processing. And yeah, so this type of book, I would definitely put the copyright page in there, because this book comes in like multiple editions. It's got a little mark on it here, so I'm just going to do that. But yeah, this book comes in multiple editions, so obviously I want to have the I think this one's meant for a bundle. Let me just put that aside. Okay. Oh, that was good. Picked up that error. Okay. Oh, some of these books, they must weigh like 3 kilos a book, some of them. They are heavy and large. Okay. So a few pictures in here. Pictures to show there's a little tear in the dust cover here. Right. So see how I'm always trying to do like of like? And you can notice here a lot of these cookbooks here, or gardening books, whatever they are, there's a whole mix of them. But they're all nearly the same size. And it's the same here when I do the paperbacks. They're all the same size. So when you can have like a whole shelf of the same, like, it just, everything stacks better. It's neater looking. It's just easier to get the books off when you're picking, when there's like of like. It's exactly the same here when I'm doing these big, large, heavy books. When I'm sorting through my books that are waiting to photograph, I'm creating piles of like on like. And I photograph like on like. Oh, this book. I love this book. Okay, what is it called? Living with Blue and White. So this is not worth the most money that I got from Book Fair, but this is probably one of my favourite books that I got, just because I personally love like the blue and white. Like, it's so Hamptons looking, and I just love, like, this is an absolutely beautiful coffee table book. And just the whole thing. And even when I bought it at the book fair, the lady who was taking my money, she picked this book up and she was like, oh my goodness, this is the most stunning book. And I was like, yes, I know, I love it myself. So personally, if I had the right house decor, I would love to have this book onto a coffee table in my house. But because I don't have the right decor in my current rental house, then this book is just, it's not worth me keeping, because it's just, there's nowhere really to put it in my current house. But one day, when I have my dream house, one day I will have a beautiful styled, open, airy, blue, white, I don't know, blue, I love greens as well, blue and white and green plants, the grey and white exterior of the house, very airy, whites inside. That's all my, very Hamptons. Hamptons is my like dream home. Like a beautiful grey and white house that's beautifully styled in like greys and blues and whites and greens inside. Oh, beautiful. That's like my dream, guys. It's like, that's what I'm working towards. One of these days, I got to get like an investment house first, and then one of these days I'll get my dream house. And yeah, Tom won't have a say in how I style. One day when we get the dream house, he's not going to have any say. I'll be like, this is the house that we're getting one day. Like it or lump it. This is a beautiful book as well. I got this one at the book fair as well. And I've sold this one. Oh, I got this sticker. I did get, hold on, this one's got a black book. I need to bring the exposure down a little bit. Wow, one of the other book fairs I went to, I bought 2 of these books and they sold really, really fast. So hopefully when I list this one, it will also sell fast. I'll show it to you in a second. I think from memory, this book sells for around $55. And I reckon that blue and white one is probably similar, around the $55 mark. But see this one, Belle, Beautiful Australian Homes. Again, large coffee table, home decor. Those kind of books are very, very popular. And some of them are worth really nice money. So yeah, the fact that I've sold that one twice before, I'm pretty confident that one will sell. But I don't find it very often. I quite often will find it at the book fairs, but I don't really find it when I'm out thrifting in like the thrift shops. I don't find it much. So, but it is a beautiful book. This is another home book, home decorating lifestyle kind of book. This one's different. Contemporary Living in the Mountains, Charlotte's Contemporary, I can't even say. Yeah, can you read it? We all know that I'm terrible at reading. Anyway, this is basically, again, home decor and stuff, but it's like for if you live in the mountains, I guess if you live in the cabins or the mountains, or beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, these books are definitely heavy, and you don't want these just on regular shelves with all the other books that you have to be kind of like moving around, and You don't want them to get scuffed, because a lot of these are beautiful coffee table books. So by keeping them down on the floor level, then someone's trying to ring me. I tell you who keeps trying to ring me, eBay. Let's talk about that for a second. Let me just put these coffee table books over on the shelf, and I'll come back and I'll talk to you about why eBay keep ringing me. Now these books are pretty high. I think I might just put some on this trolley, but I'm not going to photograph from this trolley. I'm just going to get them down to a more reachable height. Well, I nearly mucked that one up, guys. I just photographed 2 books before I realized that I hadn't changed the SKU number on the post-it note, and so these were going down onto the bottom shelf with the big, large books. You've got to be really, really careful you don't make any mistakes with your inventory SKU. So anyway, I found a new shelf that I want these to be going on. Actually, I found a half shelf. I'm going to fill up a half shelf, and then I'm going to start working on the next shelf. So, okay, let's talk about eBay. Now, after I closed my store in November, so the store was closed for 6 weeks, and then I started the store back up, and then probably 2 weeks into January, I got a phone call from eBay, from the promoted listings team. And she says to me, "We've noticed that your store sales are down." And I had to laugh, because for the first 2 weeks of January, my store sales were like rocking. They were high. The store sales had been down, obviously, in December because the store was closed. So I said to her, the store sales have been really good for the last 2 weeks. I said they were only down in January because I closed the store and didn't accept any orders. And she said, "Okay, but, we've still noticed a drop in your sales." And I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, you've just noticed this 6 weeks later when I've come in and started selling again. And the reason was, when I started up my store again, I didn't promote my listings as high as I was, because I didn't know what was going to happen. So the first day when I actually started the store and I got the sales all back going on the 1st of January, I actually forgot to put the promoted listings on until about, 5 o'clock that afternoon. And then I went, oh my goodness, I haven't even put the promoted listings on. So when I put the promoted listings on, I thought to myself, well, do I just start the promoted listings back at like what they were, or do I start them a little bit lower, and just see what happens? So I started the promoted listings at a little bit less than what I had been doing before I closed the store. And over the month of January, my sales were really good. I did $25,000 in sales in January, and the sales were doing awesome. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to adjust my promoted listings. I'm still promoting at a fair rate, but I'm not promoting at, what I was promoting at. And I don't really like talking about promoted listing rates, because I think everybody needs to do what you need to do for your own store. And I often experiment with promoted listings for my store. So I have to be really careful if I tell you guys, oh, I promoted this, because so many people just copy me, right? And the problem is with copying somebody is my store is different to your store. My traffic is different to your store. I have the benefit of getting some viewer orders, and lately I've been getting more viewer orders than normal. So my store runs differently at everyone else's. So I don't really like to just say you should do this or I do this, because I am conscious of when people copy, if it's not the right thing for their store. You have to do your own research, and you have to do your own experiments in your own store, because also you sell different books. Even if you're a bookseller, you sell different books to me. So we price our books different. We sell our books different. We list our books different. We take photos different. Or even if we take photos the same, they still will look a little bit different. So I truly believe that in your own store, you need to run experimentations on promoted listings. And I do it all the time. I change my promoted listings all the time. I increase them, I drop them. I increase them, I drop them. I'm not the type of person who's afraid to never touch my promoted listings for the fear that eBay is going to punish me. I used to be like that, and then last year I changed my mind. Last year I did a lot of experimentations in my store, and I dropped things and I increased things, and then I played around with different things. And the one thing I learned during that time was that I truly believe that promoted listings go stale, and I truly believe you sometimes have to end a campaign and redo a new campaign, because I do believe that they go stale. And sometimes if you've had this, I used to run the same promoted listing campaign for like months and months on end. I never touched it. I just had it set at a promoted listing rate. And I was too afraid to change it, because I was like, well, what if I drop this? Then eBay's going to punish me, because that's how it feels like with eBay. It feels like they punish us. Quite often it feels like they punish us whenever we change something. So I would just have the same promoted listing campaign running for months and months. And then when I experimented one day and I changed it, I had like a big boost in sales. And it wasn't that I increased it. It was just that I started a fresh campaign, and that actually boosted my sales. So now I experiment greatly in my store. And if sales are really low, then I might promote a little bit higher. If sales are going well, then I might promote a little bit lower. I chop and change it depending on the seasons, depending on like how busy it is. And at the moment, through January, I've been promoting a little bit less. However, now it is feeling a little bit more quiet in February. But I also have to determine, is that just because I haven't been listing enough and I haven't been listing higher quality items to bring higher average priced sales? Anyway, eBay called me up. Oh, we noticed that you're not getting many sales. And I'm like, well, I am getting more sales now. I just didn't have sales while I was, I just didn't have sales while I had the store turned off. And she's like, we think that you should do promoted listings where you pay by click. You will get a 200% increase in your sales, she says to me. And I was like, what a load of baloney. 200, like, are you going to put that in writing, eBay, that you're going to give me 200% increase in sales if I do pay by click? No. As far as I'm concerned, eBay like to cash grab. And one of the ways they do that is by trying to get everyone to promote at higher rates, promote at, this new pay by click. This one's got a lot of text crossed out. So that's just my personal opinion, guys. I think eBay cash grab when it comes to promoted listings. And when they start pushing and pushing and pushing for everyone to do pay by the click, to me, that's a sign like, okay, eBay, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. And I don't do, as much as I experiment with my promoted listings, I do not do the pay by click one. Like, I just don't. I have my mine set at a flat rate. So every single listing goes into the store at a flat promoted rate, and that's how I do it. And I'm not going to change from doing that method despite all my experimentations. I will not be experimenting with pay by click. I've heard other people do it. I've heard how much it costs them. And no, definitely not for me. Definitely not for me. And sometimes I'll promote like different categories as well. Like I have categories within my store and I can promote them at different rates. So I don't always just have the entire store on one promoted listing flat rate. I'm always on flat rate, but I don't just necessarily have the whole store on the same flat rate, if you know what I mean. I used to do that, but now I kind of change it up a bit. But yeah, eBay have rung me. I can't even tell you how many times. They keep ringing because they want to talk to me more about promoted listings and getting me to do that pay by click. And I'm just like, it just feels like they're almost desperate. Like, and when you ask them, like, I don't know, it's like they make out like they're there to help increase your store, but it's just like they've got this salesman that keeps ringing you up trying to sell you something that means that you just have to pay more money to them. And as far as I'm concerned, I already pay enough money to eBay. And I'm not afraid to pay. Like, I do 100% believe, like, if I pay the money and get extra sales, then that's money well spent. Like, I'm not against promoted listings in that way. If you promote, like, some people just don't want to promote at all. But I do truly believe that you need to promote in your store. It gives you a lot more exposure on your listings. And I do truly believe it brings more sales. So I'm happy to pay for something that's going to bring me more sales. But I don't 100% know, and I don't know, it's a gut feeling. I don't 100% know, though, if you benefit any more by promoting higher, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm getting the same, if not more sales, promoting at a mid-rate range than when I was promoting on the higher end scale. So I just feel like, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. You know, I don't know, guys. But eBay do keep ringing me and keep pushing me to do that pay by click. And, you know, I kind of feel like I've already told you I'm not interested in that. Why do you keep ringing? And I don't know about you guys. I hate phone calls. Unless it's my family or Tom, I don't like phone calls. I'd rather people send messages than... Oh, no. Okay, this book has got water damage. Pages are stuck together. See, like this? Yeah, I can't sell that book. So this is what I do when I'm photographing. If I come across a book that I'm photographing, and then when I'm photographing it, I find the condition of it's too unacceptable for me to sell. Maybe it's got highlighting all the way through it. Maybe it's torn. Maybe it's whatever. If I decide while I'm photographing, I just put my hand in front of it and I take a photo. And that means when I get to the upload of the photos, when I'm doing the listing, I just add those ones to the bin. Because once I've listed an item, I trash the photos. So they're all in my waiting to list folder on my desktop. And then I list them. And then as soon as they go live on eBay, I just drag and dump the photos into the little trash bin on the desktop. So this one just automatically gets dumped into the thing, and this book gets discarded. Okay. Ooh, these are heavy. I might just take these over because these were only doing a half shelf. So I definitely don't want to photograph too many and then have too many for the shelf. Okay, I'm just going to give the board a bit of a clean before I do a next load. In case anybody doesn't know, this white board is called core flute. If you're in Australia, I get it at Bunnings, but it's just corrugated plastic. I think in America or UK, they call it corrugated plastic. We call it core flute. This is what they used to use in the olden days when they used to make real estate signs. They still use it a little bit, but the real estate signs now that go in front of the house, they're generally much more fancy now than a core flute sign. But back in the day, this is what they used to use for real estate signs. It's very cheap to buy, only, I don't know, $5 or something. And it lasts a long time, as long as you just wipe it over fairly regularly. And I normally just clean it with a baby wipe. And then I just wipe it over with the cloth, just so that it's not wet. You don't want it wet when you put more books on it, or it's just going to get dirty marks again from being wet. So I always just keep cloths and baby wipes under the photo station. And then I can keep going. Oh, this one's got the, like I said before, that one's got the sticker on it, so I'll leave it till later. Okay, this is a nice looking cookbook, The Forest Feast. No idea what this one's worth, but it's a pretty looking book. So yeah, does anybody else, let me know in the comments if eBay calls you and tries to get you to pay by click. I never used to get phone calls like that from eBay. So it was kind of like when they first called me, first of all, I wasn't even sure if it was a scammer. Like I truly, like, they're ringing me up saying they're from eBay. And I thought it was a scammer. I actually had a scammer the other week call me about eBay. They nearly got me as well. They told me that somebody had logged in and hacked into my account. And they started asking me all these questions. And it really, and he kept saying to me, oh, my eBay username is this, and this is my, you know, you can Google me and my ID number comes up. I'm giving you my ID number and I'm letting you know that this is, you've been hacked into, and you need to go in there and have you got this app on your phone? And he had me going into the settings of my phone, and I can't remember what it was, but something in the settings. And he's like, do you have that setting turned on in your phone? And I was like, yes. And he's like, well, that's why you've been hacked. You need to like turn that setting off. And I was like, what's going on? And then the thing that got me about him, he really did sound legit, but I kept kind of saying, I'm just going to get onto the eBay chat and ask them about this. And I noticed the girl, it was a girl that started, and when I said I'm going to get onto the eBay chat, she was talking really fast. And she just kind of kept getting faster and faster. And I'm like, oh, I'm just on the eBay chat now, because I was starting to get a little bit sus. And then next minute she handed the phone to a guy who was obviously more experienced with doing the dodgy deal. And she handed it to him, and he was like, you know, hello, I'm so-and-so, I'm eBay manager, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it was quite convincing. But the thing that I really noticed was how fast they were talking. Like, they were talking so fast, like it was, they had to, you know, trying to get me to do it really quick, like it was this urgency thing. And I was like, something is sus here. But the one thing was, I went and checked my login history afterwards on eBay, and there was a login from somewhere overseas in America. And they had been telling me, oh, you've been hacked from this place or whatever. And anyway, I went in, I Googled it, and the whole thing just seemed really off to me. And I never heard another thing from eBay, and I went in and changed straight away. I changed all my passwords, everything. So you just, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. And I think you got to change your passwords regularly on eBay. You've got to really change them on a routinely basis. But you can, if you didn't know, you can go into your settings and check your login history, and it will tell you if there's any activity on your page that shouldn't be there. But nothing was done. I think whatever they were trying to do on my phone, they were trying to get me to, I don't know, they were trying to get me to download an app. That's where it became really like sus. They wanted me to download some app that was meant to be like, I don't know, they were telling me like anti-hacking or something. That was it for me. I ended up just hanging up on them. And then, yeah, nobody called me back. eBay didn't call me back. I kept saying, where's the email about it? eBay would send me an email if there was some kind of unauthorized thing happening on my account. Oh, no, we can't send the email because the hackers have got it. And yeah, anyway, that's my couple of eBay saga stories lately. I'm like, oh my goodness. So yeah, anyway, let me know, bud, if they contact you. Let me know if you do pay-by-click advertising and if it works for you, or if you just have tried it and it just, I know people who have tried it and it's just cost them so much money and they don't get the sales from it. So yeah, I'm not interested in it. This is a nice looking cookbook. Meal Prep Vegetarian. Yum. I need to do a bit more meal prepping this weekend. Always feel better when I'm meal prepping and have meals ready to go during the week when I come out here for lunch and stuff. So I might cook up, I don't know, maybe I've been craving some, what's it called? Chili con carne. I've got a real thing for like sour cream. I love eating any meal that contains sour cream. I don't care if it's on a baked potato, nachos. I just love sour cream. It's one of my favorites. So I really like, what's it called? Chili con carne, because I can dollop like a big dollop of sour cream on top, and it's so good. Probably, I mean, I don't think sour cream's, a dollop of it isn't that bad. I must say, I could have multiple dollops. I could just have a lot of sour cream, guys. I have to limit myself to like a dollop, but realistically, if I could eat the whole tub of sour cream while I'm eating like nachos or something, I probably would. It's delicious. Right. Okay. I think in a second, I am going to finish this off and then head up and get a cold drink from the fridge. And love you and leave you guys, and hope that you've managed. This video is probably gone for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour of being photographing. So hopefully you guys have got 45 minutes to an hour's worth of work done at the same time, and we've all been able to smash our work out together and be productive, because that's what it's all about. We've got to get our work done. Oh, this is an interesting book. It's called This Is Gonna Hurt, Music, Photography and Life Through the Distorted Lens of Nikki Sixx. So it kind of looks a bit gothic, heavy metal. I don't know. It looks interesting anyway. I don't know where it came from. I don't know, maybe I got it at the book fair. I can't remember. Anyway, it looks interesting. Sometimes I pick up books without even comping them just because they look interesting. And that one definitely looks interesting. So it's likely that it did come from the book fair. But I can't always remember because I'm just going so fast that I'm like, sometimes I'm just picking really, really fast. So yeah. But once these book fair books start getting into my store, then they'll start coming through in the packing videos, and then that'll be good. Start seeing some better listings than these $20 books. Right. Better brain food. This one's got some text in it. Oh, always when it's got text in the book, I have to check that it doesn't also have the lead writing next to it with the price. So I have to photograph the name, but I don't want to photograph the price. Right. Right, I'm going to wheel that over. That is it. I'm going to end this video off, and I'll see you in the next video for, I don't know what it's going to be, but something to do with books. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye.